Why do you do this to me? Oh, yeah. Hello, everyone. It's Nitro, episode 217. It is the November 15th episode from 1999. And boy, do we have a show for you to go through. We kick off the thing with what is one of the bad things about the show, but not really, because we've got that coming up, don't we? Okay, if you're familiar with this episode, you know what I'm talking about. It's we have the hardcore match because we got the new title coming up. Norman Smiley's taking on Jimmy Hart. Why? Apparently this was explained on Thunder, and unfortunately WWE has not put up the episodes of Thunder yet. I think that's like low on their priority list. But anyway, this match is not too bad. It went longer than it should have, just because of the fact that, like, I just don't think non-wrestlers should last very long with wrestlers. It's Norman Smiley versus Jimmy Hart, and Jimmy Hart's dressed in a suit of armor, which is never explained why he's doing this, where he got the suit of armor from, or anything. It's not too hard to explain. You could just have Bobby Heenan say, I was talking to Jimmy earlier tonight, and he told me he got it from... Because it's not like you can just walk into a store and buy a suit of armor. Okay, Brian Knobbs ends up coming out and interfering, beating on Norman Smiley, because the two of them are in the hardcore title match, and everything. So... yeah, he interferes, but he gets Norman on a table, and Jimmy Hart's about to jump off onto the table through and break the table with Norman's on it. Norman rolls off. Jimmy still goes through the table, covers him 1, 2, 3, while Brian Knobbs is there celebrating. Yeah, I got him beaten by Jimmy Hart. Right. But Norman ends up getting away. But after the match, the announcers run through the bracket of all the matches that they're going to have. We're down to 8 guys. We need to cut it down to 4 for the Mayhem show, which will be my next review, by the way. Will be WCW Mayhem 1999. So we've got Scott Hall versus Chris Benoit, Buff Bagwell versus Jeff Jarrett, Bret Hart versus Billy Kidman, and Sting versus Lex Luger. Okay, so they're pretty big matches to have on the card. Do you think they would be given a decent amount of time? Well, some of them are and some of them aren't, in my opinion. I think a little bit more attention should have been placed on the Billy Kidman match. There should have been an interview with Billy Kidman, him saying, hey, Bret is the best, and I'm going to have my boys watch me beat his ass or something. But that's not going to happen. Kimberly and Terry Taylor are talking. Is not sure what... Oh. Sorry, before that, Kurt Hennig is interviewed about his match that he's going to have with Bill Goldberg. Then we have Kimberly and Terry Taylor. They're talking. I think she's looking for the powers that be's office, but can't find it. Wondering where it is for the night. Okay. Alright, we have a Nitro Girls fight. Why? Why, Vince? Why? Why this? And we have the outside, the Outsiders. in the before the Nitro Girls fight, there's a segment where we see Nash dressed as Sid with Scott Hall looking Nash looking like Sid. So eventually, after that Nitro Girls segment, they come to the ring, and they poke fun at Sid, okay, and then Sid comes out. He kind of botches the promo. I don't know if it's on purpose or not. He says something that makes him look like a idiot. I kind of skipped through this, but like basically the promo ended up working a little bit, but like, yeah. Then we have the Booker T interview. He talks about when midnight strikes, everything's gonna be awesome or something. But yeah. Then we have Kimberly heading to the Powers That Be's office. And then she's told then after the commercial break, we get told that she's having a match with Asia. Okay, and that there will be a special guest referee for that match. We got Chavo trying to sell stuff to Booker T because Crave Patrol are waiting in the ring because they're going to have a match with Booker T. They're named Patrick and Gerald now. They end up winning the match, though after the match, Midnight comes out and cleans house. Then we're showing the First Family fighting backstage. That's pretty much it. But mainly it's to set up a match between, Jerry Flynn and the Barbarian. Then we have Shane Goldberg arriving. Then the Powers talking to Creative Control that he's very disappointed in them because they got their asses kicked by Midnight, who's pretty tall and not exactly a little woman. And you've got Booker T as well. But he wants them to bring him Tori and the Luchadors. Oh yeah. It's coming, people. It's coming. Then we have Evan Courageous taking on Johnny Byrne in a match that goes way too long. Way too long. And I don't even know what happened in this match. I don't know if... I'm pretty sure Evan Courageous won, but I didn't take the note down that happened. But Medusa was on the things, and she was talking about how hot and sexy Evan Courageous was. I don't care. I really don't care about this. Oh, then the Powers That Be set up a match with 5 luchadors, and the match is a piñata on a pole match. Okay, that's bad enough. Can you say racism? Okay. Now, the reason it's a piñata on the pole match is because somehow, before this piñata thing even got there, because apparently Hoovy has the piñata or something, he's miraculously put a check for $10,000 into the piñata. This piñata that's supposed to be for someone in Hoovy's family's birthday party. Okay. Okay. But it's about to get worse. after this, we see Dr. Death, Steve Williams, and Oklahoma showing up. Now, okay, we all know that the Oklahoma gimmick was used to poke fun at WCW, WWE. And I know Vince Russo has apologized for this, but I still have to ask, why? Why do you always want to make wrestling funny? Creative Control looking for Tori, and then we have the pinata on a pole match with commentary by Oklahoma. And it's bad enough. He's done everything to make all these guys look like jobbers. But come on, you've got Juventud Guerrero and Psychosis. They're not exactly tiny names in the Mexican wrestling thing. They're pretty good wrestlers. I know, Vince, you don't like the flippity flip thing. But God, get over it. Some people like this sort of wrestling. Now, before the match can end, Dr. Death enters the ring, claims the check, and by the way, the pinata fell like 5 seconds into the match. And they kept just going up to the turnbuckle and shaking the pinata. I don't get it. I really don't. The only justification for this segment is Dr. Death got to look really cool for a little while. Rest in peace, bro. Oh. Alright. We have a Goldberg interview because he's got to talk about... He talks about his match with Kurt Hennig. And we have Nash... in his interview, by the way, he's going to have a match with Sid about, it's going to be a street fight, but Sid's actually wrestling someone else beforehand. But yeah. Then we have the career-threatening match, Goldberg versus Kurt Hennig. Oh, yeah, I put... The match actually starts in the back because... I like this. They interrupt Goldberg's interest. You know how everyone... They knock on the door, the security lays him out, but Kurt Hennig starts it off by starting the match in the back. Interrupting this. And it was like... Hey, I don't know if anyone's done that before, but that was actually a good idea. They managed to make it to the ring, and the match ends when Hennig taps out, but he still gets speared and jackhammered because Hennig hits the ref. Like, I think it was a way to justify, hey, well, just in case. I didn't. Now Kimberly's on the phone with DDP. When the power goes out, but Jim Duggan with this. Of course, there are better ways to use Jim Duggan than making him the janitor. And he's not the janitor of one building; he's the janitor of all the buildings. It's like, it makes no sense. There is much better ways to use him. Now, because I know he's tried to justify this by saying, "Hey, I didn't want him beating up his body anymore." Fine. Better ways of doing things. Here's one. Make him the authority figure. There you go. Like, no one really liked Jim Duggan for his in-ring work, by the way. And then Creative Control runs into the Filthy Animals because they're told, "Hey, we want Torre. Can you send it to the office, please? And if you don't, guess what? You're fired. You're all fired." Chavo and Hacksaw Jim Duggan do a bit together because for some reason it's trying to be funny and it's not. You just feel sorry for both guys involved because you like you know there are better uses for them than this. Berlin and the Wall versus Vampiro and the Misfits. There was nothing. This was pretty good. I don't know. This was all to set up a match between Berlin and Vampiro because they have that chain match, which will be commentated by Oklahoma. Oh, jeez. The Wall wins the match despite him, and for some reason they want to build tension between Berlin and the Wall. They've been together for like 5 minutes. I don't know why you want to build tension between them already. I think it's been like, I think Berlin debuted at Fall Brawl, which was a month before they showed up, and now they've been working for about a month together, maybe a little bit more, and they want to build tension between them already. I don't know why. Okay. Tori and Creative Control are heading back to the Powers of B's office. Goldberg shown pacing. Tori's told she's the special referee for that match between Kimberly and Asia. Then we have Rick Steiner versus Sid. This is for the TV title. The match ends in a no contest, but I'll give credit to this one because like they at least show they and by the way, before they even started, they showed a video page catching you up what's been happening between the two, because some of this has been happening on Thunder, so it's another thing I've got to give credit to Russo. He's using Thunder to set up stuff to happen on Nitro, so at least they're doing that. Now, the reason the match ends in a no contest because it never really starts. They brawl all over through the crowd and end up at the stage. Sid powerbombs Rick Steiner through the stage. This is another way to get an older guy off TV and to just hand the TV title to Scott Hall. Because that's what will happen at Mayhem. Okay. Rick Steiner is stretched out. Sid is interviewed because he's having that match with Kevin Nash later on. Nash is prepping. Now, there's no referee for this, but there is a brawl in the back between Jerry Flynn and the Barbarian. It's actually quite good. It's a good like fight. It's made to look not real, but like pretty pretty good. Like, it's alright. We have a Chris Benoit interview, and then we have that match between Asia and Kimberly with special referee Tori Wilson, who's wearing, like, I would say one of the smallest bikinis ever, but she wears some smaller ones later on. And this is a match that just complete, like, it was never going to be good, but, like, the match, before the match even starts, Asia and Tori start brawling. They're taken, then the Filthy Animals show up, they take Tori away. Then David Flair shows up. He gets slightly beaten up by Asia, but he comes back, beats her up, and Kimberly's just like, run away. She's gone. Like, later on it's shown she's left the building. And he says, hey, she's not going to get away with Mayhem. But, man, I gotta say, I do like this transformation of David Flair, but it never pays off for it in the ring. Like, he's still, like, he really needed to go somewhere else and train or something. He needed to be put into a developmental program. Sting gets flowers from Lex. I don't know why I put Sting gets flowers from Sting. That would be funny. Lex. Then we're shown that bit that I told you about before with Liz, with Kimberly running out of the building. Lex and Liz, they see what happens, and they're like, they got to come up with a new plan. For whatever reason. Then we have the match. Scott Hall. This is the first match of that series of 4 matches that happens. For the set up the semis for Mayhem, the WCW title tournament. Scott Hall comes out with Kevin Nash. Chris Benoit comes out with Bret the Hitman Hart. Crowd pops for this. So yeah. Even though the match should end in DQ because the referee clearly sees Nash beating up on Benoit, that doesn't happen. Scoot Hall. God, I gotta learn how to type on this. While that's happening, Sid comes in the ring, power bombs, and it's a very good one on Scott Hall gets power bombed by Sid, and Scott Hall gets the headbutt. He kicks out of that or something. It gets broken up or something. Then looks like Scott's gonna, he's got that set up that he's gonna use like a not brass knuckles, but what the plastic or something substitute that they usually use. But that gets stopped because Benoit counters that into a crippler crossface. Scott Hall taps out. Benoit goes on to the finals. That's and I've got to say, this is a pretty good match. It's given a decent amount of time, and it's given a bit more tension. Then we get a Buff Bagwell interview. Then we get Billy Kidman with the Filthy Animals facing off against Bret Hart. Bret Hart wins by submission because the Animals are distracted by the Outsiders beating up on them. Because they really weird setup. Luger and Liz looking for brownies. Now this gets set up into something stupid. Don't worry. It's not as bad as that Pinata match, but it's close to it. we get a Jarrett interview, and then it's Buff Bagwell versus Jeff Jarrett. This is pretty quick. This is not as long as the other ones. This is a bizarre finish. Creative Control come out during the match, very early on, mind you. It's practically in and out. But okay, it's not like these guys were going to put on a 5-star classic. But still, I think it should have lasted a bit longer. Brett, they're not Brett. The Creative Control slide the guitar into the ring. Buff gets it. He ends up hitting, instead of Jeff Jarrett, he hits one of the members of Creative Control. That gets immediately counted into the stroke. 1, 2, 3 in the middle ring. Jeff Jarrett advances. He's going to be taking on Chris Benoit. And Brett's going to take on the winner of Sting and Lex Luger. Which, by the way... oh, yeah. After that match, Creative Control beat on Buff Bagwell, but Dustin Rhodes hits the ring, and they Buff and Dustin clear the ring, setting up their front for this, stand up against that. The brownies have been found, and Lex and Liz are putting, I forget what the word is, the thing, Elax I put it in there. It's a diuretic, stuff that makes you go to the bathroom. Anyway, that can only head to a bad place. We get a Revolution interview. Then we get Hacksaw Jim Duggan interviewing, intercepting the brownies. Then we get the House of Pain match, which has been talked about throughout the night, by the way. I know I'm not covering everything. It is so hard to cover everything, because sometimes during the matches they actually do stuff to, they announce things to set up stuff later on. But yeah, so the point of this match is you handcuff your opponent's arms and legs to the cage. Okay, not a bad idea. Problem is, the match lasts all of like 2 minutes. This would be one hell of a pay-per-view match, and given, like, I'm not saying a huge amount of time, but like a decent amount of time to tell a story, to tell things that happen. But I don't think Russo ever gets that. He always wants to rush through things. He's always doing that. And somehow this match ends in a DQ. There's interference and stuff like that. Animals get beaten down. They handcuff Ray's not in the match, but Ray's been having this injury with his knee throughout the thing. But he gets handcuffed by the leg, dangling like from his leg on the ground, and then he just drop kick the hell out of it. He gets carried out during the break and everything. Then we get Lex versus Sting. This is not terribly long. It didn't need to be, because like I don't think Lex and Sting have ever had like a 5-star classic. They've had alright matches, but yeah. Sting wins despite being maced, and he gets help from Ming, and he ends up winning by pinfall, I believe. Anyway, Then we're shown Goldberg leaving his locker room. Then Sid versus Kevin Nash. This is actually quite good. I'm going to say this. You wouldn't think so with these two guys. But it, for what it is, which is two big guys just beating the holy hell out of each other, and it's pretty good. It doesn't get a finish, but it shouldn't, because they're going to have a match at Starrcade. Now, say what you will about Starrcade. If it were me, I would have set it up right. I would have done some stuff. But okay. See, the match ends in a no contest, but that's because just as Sid is about to powerbomb Kevin Nash, Scott Hall comes in the ring. Bam! He starts beating on Sid. And then the Outsiders beat on Sid. Goldberg hits the ring. He spears both Outsiders. They powder out of the ring. Bret Hart comes out. And again, this is a good setup. But the problem is with what happened last week in the ladder match. Or the week before. Whatever. Anyway. Bret Hart comes out to help out because Sid and Goldberg are going at it, and it's pretty good. Like, they do a lot to make Sid look unstoppable and Goldberg look unstoppable. Anyway, and that's where the show ends. The main problem with the show is the Medusa segment is really hard to watch, and the Pinata on a pole match it's not funny. You're making fun of someone that the fans actually like. I think both WCW fans and WWE fans, for some reason, wrestling fans really like Jim Ross. He's like the ultimate babyface. You don't make fun of someone like that that's as well respected and everything. That being said, I know they've apologized, that Vince Russo has apologized for it numerous times. Wouldn't do it again. Fine. Problem is, you did it in the first place, and it was just so annoying. You can't, like, all you're gonna do is get your remote. You would have switched over to WWE. Anyone would have left. Yeah. You can, like, understand what you're going for. You just fail miserably. And there was just some stuff on here, like I know some people find poop jokes funny, and yeah, I know I didn't cover it, but Hacksaw Jim Duggan is shown going in the bathroom for some reason, pooping like crazy. Okay. Yeah. Anyway, what would I give the show? It's hard because I would have tuned out. Like, honestly, I would have tuned out had I had the choice between both. But I didn't have, like, I had the choice not to watch, and I took that choice. And that's sad, really. Some of the matches are too short, but a lot of the matches are given a little bit more time this week, so I gotta give him credit there. They're not long matches, but the matches that were short, a couple of them should have been longer. Some of the matches that should have been short were too long. So it just needs to learn the balance. So, but overall, I give this is a D- show. It's not bad, but like, the stuff that's in it that's bad is so bad, I had to turn it off, and I had to watch something else just to build up something so I could get through, especially that Pinata on a Pole segment. God, that is so it is so bad. It's unwatchable, guys. Honestly, and I know some people are gonna say, "Oh, but Magpie, come on! It's one segment." It brought like the show was essentially going to be uh, okay. You take that out, it's a B. But there's other stuff on it that just really ticks me off, and I just had to turn it off, guys. So, uh, anyway, I will be back pretty soon because Mayhem's coming up. The draft is coming up as well. I'm going to talk about that after the fact. I won't be able to watch it because I haven't got cable, but I will definitely, when I find out who's drafted where, I'm gonna maybe say some things. I did do a video that of what the rules should be, but apparently some of the rules have been given out. The rules of the draft, but I think the rules of the brand split should come out as well. Or during the brand split, like they should be like even if it's just an internet that like something's announced on the internet or something, like how this should work, because there needs to be some sort of thing that works about it. Anyway, I'll be back with Mayhem pretty soon, guys, because I actually don't mind that show.